very pleased with your performance today.
Yeah, I'm super happy to get through. Really happy with how I rebounded after just an odd third set. Played a good tiebreaker to finish the match, and I thought the first two sets, the level was, as good as it gets for me.
Liam.
Hi Taylor, Liam from Quality Shots. You've mentioned in the past that you like to speak technically about your game. What would you say you changed tactically after losing that third set and going down a break in the fourth?
Yeah, I'd say usually I do like to speak very technically, but in this situation, it was not so much. It was more like the first two sets, everything was going in. The third set, everything that was going in stopped going in. And then in the fourth set, I started putting balls in the court again.
Matt?
So what was going on with your foot or feet exactly? And it's been going on for a while, and I'm sort of curious, like, what's the struggle with getting control of it?
There's nothing actually wrong with my feet. Like, I don't have blisters. Yeah. No, I don't have like blisters or anything like that. It's a pretty common tape job that a lot of players do, more so on like hard court when you're sliding a lot, but I have it done on everything, and it's just like some like pads that are under your feet because my the skin gets really like irritated from like moving and sliding in the shoes, just like moving aggressively. So because a lot of players get it done. For me, for whatever reason, two of the matches here, I like ripped the pad or ripped it. Like it just got moved from me moving during the match. So it gets uncomfortable once it comes loose in the shoe. So that I just have it, I'm just getting it retaped. And that's basically all it is.
You do that because you are prone to blisters? Or?
It's not blisters. It's just like the skin gets almost like the skin gets like rubbed raw from like moving around in the shoe from like the friction. Like I said, it's pretty common. It's more of like a preventative thing. If I were to play a 5-setter at like the Open where I'm sliding around the court a lot, if I wasn't taped up like this, the next day I wouldn't be able to move.
Charlie.
Taylor, well, you've talked before about being hard on yourself, having really exacting standards. Where are you with that now? Are you kind of still like that, or are you a little bit kinder?
I'm still like that for sure. I think it's good for me to. It's good because it pushes me to improve and get better. And I think that, the first couple of rounds I was super happy with how I played from the baseline. I thought I could actually serve all my spots and serve a bit better. And I felt like the last two matches, I think I started to dial that in a bit more. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's the thing is when I'm playing matches, I try to kind of leave that on the practice court and just accept that whatever's going on in the match today, like that's what I have, and I'm not going to get frustrated if things aren't certain things aren't working. But yeah, when it comes to practicing and training, I think being hard on myself and being real with myself of what's working in my game, what's not working is, it's good for me to keep improving.
Ben.
Congratulations. You could play Carlos in the next round. He's up currently in the match there. I'm just wondering if it is him. There was so much talk after the French Open final about how Sinner and Alcaraz is next level and doing all these incredible things. How do you go out there, I guess with a little bit of experience now on a slam semi stage as well, sort of thinking you can and that you can win this match? And
well, I mean, if it's him, I'm happy. I'm happy that we're not playing at the French Open on clay with the French Open balls, because that would be an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I think grass is very much so an equalizer. Can be an equalizer. So trust in how I'm playing, and I know the way that I truly know the way that I played the first two sets today. There's not much any opponent on the other side can do.
Ava?
Hey Taylor, I'm sorry, I'm sure you've addressed this kind of earlier this season, but having made a slam final at probably the most pressure-packed place an American could do that, what effect has that had on your career, if there was any, just on your mentality, how you approach anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's given me a lot of confidence that in those moments and situations that, I can, just having been there, then I can do it again. I think I've said this a couple of times, but I feel like other years that I was in the quarterfinals here specifically, it felt like a really big deal for me. And going into the match today, I was much more calm and relaxed, and it didn't feel like that. Just having the experience of, making some deep runs and some slams over the last couple of years, and I think the same goes for having that run of the U.S. Open. It gives me a lot of confidence that I've been here before, and it's not. I don't know. I've played the pressure matches. I don't think it's gonna get anything's gonna get more stressful than me playing Francis in New York for a spot in the final.
Jackson.
Hi Taylor, well done today. You spoke on court about how happy you are at getting your career back on track, but I'd like to know how important has your girlfriend Morgan been in helping you get your career on track?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a pretty constant, I guess, results and ranking rise since we've been together. So I think I would have to say, she's been a big help to me, just kind of keep me focused, having someone who, cares and just pushes you to just do better and, do the right things, be healthier, almost like kind of just mother me in a way, with like the diet and the going to sleep on time, but just having someone to really push you in the right direction all the time. It's supporting you, it helps a lot. Like I said, there's an obvious correlation between my results and ranking and the time we've been together.
Simon.
I'd say the electronic live calling had a moment early in the fourth set when it called a rogue serve or a rogue forehand out. What were your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts on the whole electronic line calling in the first place?
Yeah, I mean it happens sometimes in that situation. I think I lost the point anyways, but in that situation it helped me because I got a first serve out of it. But yeah, I mean there's gonna be some issues here and there, but to be honest, I still think it's much better to just have the electronic line calling the lines as opposed to the umpires, because I do like I said it earlier in the week, I do like not having to think about challenging calls in the middle of points. I do like that we don't have to argue about calls and all this stuff. Like the ball gets called and we know, and that's it. And I think it's a better system.
Chris.
We think of you as primarily a hard court player. You grew up on hard courts, got to the final of the US Open, but given your grass results, quarterfinalist here, other tour titles, do you actually think that maybe relative to everybody else, grass is your best surface?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. It's, I've made 3, I mean, obviously a semifinal now, 2 other quarterfinals at Wimbledon. I think it speaks a lot that, half of my titles are on grass, given that grass is such a short part of the year compared to everything else. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be dumb of me to say that grass isn't my best surface.
Howard.
Hi, Taylor. What would you say you're most pleased by or proudest of about your tournament so far over this last week and a half? And then separately, I just wanted to ask whether you noticed anything caught your eye on that walk through the hallway there that leads into the entrance to court 1.
For the first part, I mean, the biggest thing that jumps out at me is I see the picture of Riley from when he won juniors on the way to court 1. I see that every time. But outside of that, no, I haven't been paying attention too much. But second part is I've just been really proud with how I've been mentally all week. I was about as close to being out of the tournament in the first round as you can be. I was very close in the second round. I knew my draw was absolutely brutal from when I first saw it when I was still in Eastbourne. I was like, wow, this is tough. So I'm really happy with how I just mentally got through these matches and have gone through the tournament and how I've kind of just handled also handled the draw opening up in a way. I feel like just taking it one match at a time and staying in the moment.
Willie.
What do you consider to be the biggest differences between you now and the guy who the quarterfinals were an obstacle?
I'd say a lot of it's experience. Just having been in the moment several times, I've gotten to the point where it's, it just doesn't feel like it's such a big deal. And when you have that feeling, it allows you to just play your best tennis in the situation, in the moment. And I also really do think I'm a much better tennis player than I was a year ago or even 2 years ago. I think right now I'm playing at a much higher level of tennis than I was then.